Dun, 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 the Fin Fam.
I'm so not used to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Welcome to Final Fantasy Fin Family YouTube channel. So what's on the topic for today? What's in store?
All right, so I think one of the things that everybody's talking about, I think it's interesting enough to start our channel with, is talking about the bands.
The band, the big
The
band
hammer.
The hammer's being slammed.
Yeah, so
Judge Joe Brown is in the building right now, and he's ready to put someone directly to jail.
You know what I think? I think that Reddit knew before they announced.
They saw the future.
Yeah.
They know.
It's the mind's eye.
Yeah, it's the third eye.
The third eye blind.
Reddit actually has the little pyramid eye.
Yeah. The third eye blind.
See, they're always watching.
That band
Illuminati,
just sings to 'em.
Illuminati, bring me the Dadalomi.
All right, Gabe, why don't you walk through why Dataluma is so dangerous to the format from a technical card perspective?
So I think there are a lot of things that Dataluma brings to the table that is it's just kind of really strong. Let's talk about the stats. 4 cost, 8K.
On curve,
super strong. Final Fantasy VI, not a ton of 6 searchers. There are cards that search it. So here's where I believe the problem lies. When Dataluma is chosen by your opponent's summons or abilities, it's up to 1 forward, deal it 4,000 damage. So before the card even resolves, just by picking Dataluma as a target, it's dealing damage.
it's triggering the ability.
Yeah, triggering the ability. And when the ability, and then when it's actually dealt the damage, you choose up to 1 forward opponent controls, deal it 4,000 damage. So with cards like Fire and Lightning, some water cards, they can really have a problem with just choosing it. Cards like Alcid, Onion Knight, you put Alcid into play, you choose Dataluma for its ability. You deal it, you play another forward, then you deal it the damage. So you get 2 triggers of the same card. One for choosing it, and then one for dealing damage. Then when you play another forward that chooses the forward that deals it damage, Onion Knight, Rydia, anything in regards to that, you're dealing more damage. So you kill an entire Alcid Onion Knight combo on one thing, and
So
I don't know,
cards for 1.
2 for 1 on the spot, just from sitting there hanging with Dad.
Hanging with Dada. Yeah.
Just buffed up.
Yeah, come on, get it.
You gotta get the tough. You gotta tough it up.
You gotta get the smart.
Gotta tap bruff. Get buff, brother.
Bruff. That's a new one. Get bruff.
So I think that there are ways that I think that we could have future-proofed the card. I think just getting rid of the chosen by opponents summons or ability, they could wipe that off. It's a completely fair card.
But they don't like to errata.
They don't errata.
And why wouldn't they want to errata?
I mean, in some ways, errating, it makes it hard for new players to jump in. It's saying that a card that already exists and a piece of text that's there, that
you gotta forget about it.
Forget about it. Bravo for Square Enix just taking the higher road and just banning the card completely. I don't know if it's actually worth banning it, but there are elements like Fire and Lightning that just can't, they have to choose. Yeah. And I think in the future, whenever they create a new card that may choose something in a different element, you gotta be in the back of your mind thinking, well, if there's a Dataluma out on the field, I can't actually kill this card, or if I am, they're taking out 2 forwards with me.
Potentially.
Yeah. And I think the idea
one big one.
And I think at the end of the day, they're future-proofing this. The ban is a future-proofing for when they want to develop new cards, make elements like Fire and Lightning, and even other elements that target strong without Big Dataluma, Big Daddy coming in and beating up the competition, making cards that may be really strong, unplayable due to the ability. What do you think?
I just always wonder, what is that red smoke that's coming off of his fists?
I don't know, man. You think he was he had a rough day at the gym? He's like roiding out right now.
Yeah. Is that is that like anger coming off, or is that like BO?
I feel like it's like a Street Fighter
Yeah,
thing.
it might be a little BO.
It might be a little hot wrenching BO at the card tournament. Bunch of smelly nerds.
You don't even want to target
him.
him.
Smelly nerds. He's got to be like, oh, those smelly nerds. We gotta beat up the competition. And Square Enix was like, let them go.
Let them be safe.
Be at peace. Leave, Dalaluma.
Leave. Hey kids, here now's the time where we get to go through our own ban list. We get to be Square Enix.
I am Square Enix, and you can too.
You can too. So, which one's gonna go first? So what we did here is, since ban list is a big discussion of this video, what are 3 noteworthy cards that are on our own watch list for bans?
We can criticize Square Enix all we want in regards to any type of card being banned, but it's only fair if we're criticized on those same cards that we feel. And if you guys disagree, put some comments in the video below. Like, tell us we're wrong. We
in
love
the comments.
In the comments. You put them in.
I mean, you can put a video in there.
Yeah, just put a just.
I don't know how
me.
that works.
Tell me how stupid I look. So why don't we start with you? What are your top 3?
The bane of my existence right now.
The devil on his shoulder.
The devil himself, that I just honestly cannot stand this card, mostly because of the way it's costed, in my opinion, is Sephiroth.
Big Daddy Steph. Good old Stephanie.
So my biggest problem with Sephiroth is he does just way too much for the cost. Now, a lot of people, if you haven't really played the game for a long time, you might look at it and go, wow, 7. 7 costed Sephiroth. Man, that is a fair card for 7 CP.
It's a lot
But, I think that when you really look at him in totality, he's an 8,000 powered forward, which for 7 is very overcosted. But he causes your opponents to discard 2 cards. Now, I like to think of that as almost doing 2 things. When you think of Nidhogg, who also had 2 very strong abilities, he's a 9-costed monster. And what is he, 9,000 power?
Yeah, he's 9,000 power. I think big thing about Nidhogg compared to like Sephiroth is that he's dark. You only have one of them. And I think that's one of the things that makes Sephiroth stronger in some ways. You can discard it for mana if you don't like it.
Yeah.
You can put it in the trash if you don't.
But you won't, because here's the kicker. So not only does he make your opponent discard 2 cards, which in totality, that's 4 CP that he's denying your partner, plus whatever cards. If he only has 2 or 3 cards, probably the 2 best cards, or at least one of those best cards in his hand.
Or even bigger, 4 CP of mana.
Yeah, 4 CP of mana. So that, in my opinion, is 2 abilities. Discard 1 card, discard 1 card. In my opinion, that's 2.
And I think in some way it is. One thing I would say is it's always good to realize you can respond to its ability, but to have to respond when it triggers is strong.
You're not doing it at the opportune time. Holding on to those cards either for a reason or because you don't have the resources to use those cards. So you either have other plans for them or you just can't respond to it, and he's got you. So not only that, every time Sephiroth attacks, he chews an opponent's forward, and it not only does it dull it, but it freezes it. Now, that is very powerful. There are not a lot of cards within Ice that does both. Most of the time, it's either it freezes it when it enters the play, or it dulls it on attack. Not only that, and he's not the only Sephiroth they ever printed, he can also make your opponent discard 2 cards as his special ability. It's like, whoa, this guy's never ends. And if you use Renoa to flicker him, there goes 2 more cards.
Sephiroth's really strong. Just for him to enter the field, 1-for-1 you on the spot, taking 2 cards out of your hand. Essentially, if you have 1 backup and you discard 3 cards, you're taking 2 cards out of them. So how much did it cost you? 3 CP? Play such a big forward, you have to answer it in some way. And I think in some ways, you're absolutely right. It takes a lot out of you to just come to the field. One thing I would disagree with is because there's so many Sephiroths, you can use the ability, but the idea that it costs 7, it's 8K, and there are ways to remove it easier. The ability in regards to when it attacks, it's only when they don't have cards in their hand. Now, when you enter it and put it into the field, it's taking a ton of cards out, and with its S ability only being able to be done on the main phase, it's going to take a chunk out of your hand. Compared to other cards, it might be not as much, and its dull freeze ability only really works if you don't have a hand. With decks like Water or Lightning that tutors cards, you can play around this ability very easily. But again, it's super strong when if you have 3 backups, discard 2 cards from your hand to play it, and you take 2 cards out, it costed you 3 mana for an 8K. That's insane.
I think in the hands of a savvy player, I think that Sephiroth is a bannable card. And I think that, you know, it's one of those things that I hate the most when I look at a card and go, there is no ice deck that I want to construct until I have 3 of these. Like, I hate that feeling in this game, and I don't get it a lot, which is what I love about this game.
That's fair.
I love the ability to be able to look at a huge gamut of different cards and go, you know what, if I play this color, this, or this. When I look at Ice now, ever since Sephiroth has been printed, I don't want to play anything but that, because I just want, you know, I want to make my friends hate me.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. The only way you get real friends is if they want to punch you in the face.
And what's up with that what is that, an angel wing?
Yeah, dude.
He only has one of them?
He's watched a lot of Nightwish bands, you know. He really hangs out at the
Where's
hot
this other
top.
wing at?
Yeah, it got cut off.
Did it? Is it hiding behind his hair?
Yeah, dude. The hair's so long, it's covering it.
Yeah,
Cover girl.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, like... It feels really bad when when we go to the age of like Thaumaturge and Jesper, when they're taking cards out of your hand and putting a threat. Same kind of feeling.
Yeah. Which one would you rather have in your deck? Dodaluma or Sephiroth?
Sephiroth. Card's so nuts. Card's absolutely insane. As much as I can make Devil's Advocate, it's so good. Thanks for watching, all you sweaty nerds. If you want to stay moist like us, please like, subscribe, and share with all your sweaty friends. And hope you enjoyed the video.
Till next time, and remember, use deodorant when drafting.
Always.